Fantastic. What do you guys think about this conference? Has it been amazing? I mean, 2 days of power, of truth, of content, of life-changing, incredible stuff, right? I mean, it's been unbelievable. There's so much that I feel like we can take home and we can implement. Multiple 7 figures of value. I want you guys, I don't care what you paid for this ticket, I want you guys to make sure that you take home this value and that you implement it, guys. 75% of you typically will not do anything when you get home. Don't be that kind. Make sure that you take what you've learned and you implement it. Well, today, I have a confession to make. As I stand before you, I have a major case of imposter syndrome. Anybody felt like that before? A couple of you? The rest of you are lying. Or narcissists. But you know, my grandfather always told me you could learn something from everyone, right? From the janitor to the CEO. So pay attention, listen. Don't let your ego get in the way. Ryan Holiday has a great book called Ego is the Enemy. If you guys get a chance to read it, it is worth the read. Brent Gove, our friend, says, ego is not your amigo, right? Another great mentor of mine said once that if you are the smartest and most successful person in the room, help me out, you're in the wrong room, right? I feel like I'm the least successful person on this panel, you guys. But the truth is, if you knew my story, you might think I'm the most successful person on this panel. See, when I was 5 years old, my father left us, abandoned my mother and my sister and I. We were penniless. She was a secretary, made no money, had to work 3 jobs just to support us. We were almost homeless, destitute. It was incredibly painful. We lived with rats, like it was just the worst you could imagine. And unfortunately, later in life, I was abused as a young boy. And when I was 11 years old, I was given marijuana and cocaine. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about what that can do to a young person's developing brain, but it will mess you up big time. And it takes your proclivity for addiction through the roof, right? When you first, any of you who've had kids in here, when you first see that baby, right, that infant, you go, this is a miracle. Unbelievable. I can't believe this baby came from nothing. This baby has all the potential in the world to become anything they could be, right? They're destined for greatness. That's what you think about your children. Guys, I was destined for prison. I was destined for the grave. But God, you guys, but God, I remember a time that during a birthday, I was given a magic kit, right? I love this thing. I got so into it. I love the concept of imagining. It was an escape for me. It expanded my mind. I had all the little handkerchiefs and cards and stuff. I had a little box. I called myself Zabrowski the Magician. I don't know where I came up with that name. I just thought it sounded cool. But it opened my mind and opened my heart to what's possible. Have you guys ever heard of magical thinking? No? Nobody? So I can tell you in the context of marriage counseling, it is not a good thing. It is very, very bad. In fact, it is mostly has a negative connotation, right? Magical thinking is when someone believes that their thoughts, words, or actions can cause things to happen that are not related, that don't have a connection, right? Some people call it a mental disorder. Maybe in that moment, for me, it was a mental disorder because I didn't want to be where I was. I didn't want the life that I had. I wanted something over there. It was an escape for me, and it allowed me to feel something. It allowed me to entertain people. It allowed me to see this magical experience, not just that I created, but that other people were impacted by. And it expanded me and it changed my life. And I think, magical thinking, this is something that people are going to tell you is bad. But I want to change the description of this, you guys. I want to change it today, right here. And I want you guys to think about this differently. In fact, we could look back as far as human history, right? And look at everyone from Leonardo da Vinci to Thomas Edison to Henry Ford to the Wright brothers, right? Who else? Guys, think of some people. Who else has changed our world? Oprah, yes. Yes. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, right? These are all people who had magical thinking, right? And in fact, if you think about why we're here today, we'll talk about this in a minute, but why we're here today is because many of us, decided that we were going to go against conventional wisdom. We were not going to listen to the naysayers. We were not going to let them hold us back. We've talked a lot about big ideas this morning. We've talked a lot about not thinking inside the box, thinking outside the box, thinking outside the room that the box is in, thinking outside the building of the room that the box is in. This is what magical thinking is. Many successful individuals attribute this to their success. A lot of people feel like it is a superstition, right? But it's proven scientifically to have an impact on your life. These people change their lives. They change the lives of those around them. And they change the world. Mindset is everything. It's not just important. You guys, it's everything. Every single person on this planet. Thoughts, feelings, actions. That's how we operate. Thoughts, feelings, actions. Most of us try to control our actions. We're 2 steps behind in the process. There's too much momentum. Many of us try to control our feelings. We try to detach, right? That's also, useful, but it's not the point. The way that you think is the most important thing, because what you think will come out of your mouth. What comes in your mind will come out of your mouth and will manifest in your life. 4 pillars: mindset, skill set, soul set, heart set. Those are the 4 pillars of every individual. I'm not going to talk about the other 3, but I'll be honest with you. With my team and the people that we train and the people that we coach, we care way more about mindset. I almost couldn't care less about skill set, y'all, right? Because skill set can be taught. Mindset is everything. If you have the mindset, you can develop the skill set. One of the most precious, incredible blessings of my life, because I shouldn't be up here today, because statistically, I should not be here today, is I have a family, a beautiful wife, 3 wonderful kids, and I get to tuck them in bed every night. I feel like I won the lottery, you guys. I don't need anything else. I feel like the most blessed person on the planet because I know where I should be. And I know the blessings that God has brought in my life. And I pray for these 3 kids, and I tell them every night that they were put on this earth by the creator of the universe, who spoke the world into existence, right? Amen? And we were created in his image, right? So what does that mean? If he can speak the world into existence with his words, and we're made in his image, what does that make us? Right? We have the power to create the world around us with the words that we use. So watch your words, friends. Watch your words. When I was in my teens, I was dealing drugs by the time I was 15, on the fast track to destruction and death and institutions and everything else. I found this poster. And it ties into the magical thinking for me. It ties into when I was a magician and I expanded my experience a little bit with this. And I put this poster in my room. And I saw it every single day. It soaked into my soul. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, but imagination circles the world. Who does this represent that we're all tied to in this room? Glenn Sanford. Glenn Sanford's imagination is why we're here today. It's not his knowledge. Well, he didn't know anything in 2005. He didn't have the skill set to help build this company in 2005, but he had the mindset. He knew that this could happen, even though everybody says it was a fad. Everybody said he was crazy. Now we're all here because of his imagination. This is how powerful this can be. When I was in my late 20s, I decided I wanted to be a musician. And I talked these 3 guys from Gastonia into loading up into a 2-seater pickup truck and driving to Florida so that we could get signed to a record label. And I told them, we're going to get signed to a record label, guys. And they're like, you're crazy, but I like your passion, and I'm going to follow you. And so we moved to Florida, found a place to stay up above a ski shack, ate mustard crackers, woke up in the middle of the night sweating, did public access TV, anything we could get our hands on. 6 months later, we get signed to a record label. The next day, we're performing in Monaco for the Prince of Monaco at a celebrity golf tournament with Kevin Costner, who we love, right? And so many others. We rode around in Learjets. We had a bus with our faces on it. We had a #1 single back in October of 2002. Opened up for some of the biggest artists at the time. We went to the American Music Awards and the Billboard Awards. And I mean, it was just insane. I got this close, and then everything fell apart. And I had to go home with my tail between my legs. I had a business in doing interior trim carpentry for custom homes, right? So like coffered ceilings and fireplaces and all the fancy stuff. And I remember shooting in crown molding, thinking, what am I doing here? Man, I should be touring, I should be traveling. This is not where I belong. A friend of mine called me up and he said, hey, you need to come to this potential job, and it was for a leasing agent, right? That's how this all started. So I thought, what the heck, I got nothing to lose. I went there. Within 12 months, 16 people quit or got fired, and I was the only one left, because I knew that this was my chance. And I found this quote: one's reach should always exceed their grasp. I found this quote, and just like the poster in my room, I put this up in my cubicle. I'd never worked in corporate America before. I'm at a cubicle now every day. And again, I see it every single day, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Power in, power out. Truth in, truth out. What you see, what you listen to, what's in your mind, what you take in will come back out. And this is one of the reasons why I went on from being a property manager that had really no experience to where the homeowner, or the company owner said, I want to take you through real estate school and teach you. And then I got my own firm. I was able to really build a business. I luckily got blessed to connect with some of these amazing people at EXP, and my whole entire life changed. I look at where I could be today and where I am now, and I know it's because of God's grace and mercy, and it's because of my mindset. It's because I had the imagination to think of what's possible and not what's probable. Guys, each and every one of you have a spark. You have something within you that makes you unique, that gives you the ability to stretch beyond your grasp, to find things that you never thought you could have imagined. We've talked about thinking big. We've had all these concepts floating around. I'm going to term it magical thinking. I want you guys to live your life thinking magically, and remember that you are born with a spark. That's uniquely yours. When you discover it, whatever it is, it holds the key to unlocking your most outstanding achievements and your destiny. I want you guys to turn to your neighbor right now and say, you have a spark, find it and use it. I believe in you. I love you. Go out and crush it. Thank you very much.